Throughout history, royal families have often resorted to strategic marriages to consolidate power, wealth, and influence. Among these, the Habsburg Dynasty stands out for its extensive practice of intermarriage within the family, a strategy aimed at preserving their dominion over vast European territories. This practice, however, had profound genetic and political repercussions that ultimately contributed to the dynasty's decline. The Habsburgs, originally a noble family from Switzerland, rose to prominence in the late Middle Ages, expanding their influence across Europe. To maintain control over their sprawling empire, they frequently arranged marriages between close relatives, including cousins, uncles, nieces, and even siblings. This approach was intended to prevent the fragmentation of their territories and to strengthen political alliances within the family. One of the most notable consequences of this inbreeding was the emergence of the Habsburg Jaw, a distinct facial deformity characterized by a protruding lower jaw and an overhanging lower lip. This trait became more pronounced over successive generations, serving as a visible testament to the extent of intermarriage within the dynasty. The condition, known medically as mandibular prognathism, was not merely a cosmetic issue. It often led to difficulties in speech and chewing. Scientific studies have confirmed the link between the Habsburgs' inbreeding practices and their genetic ailments. Researchers analyzing the family's genealogy found that the high degree of consanguinity led to the expression of recessive genetic disorders. For instance, a study published in the Annals of Human Biology examined the facial deformities in the Habsburg family and concluded that the distinct mandibular prognathism was likely a result of their inbreeding practices. The most tragic example of the detrimental effects of inbreeding within the Habsburg dynasty is King Charles II of Spain. Born in 1661, Charles II was the product of generations of intermarriage. His parents, Philip IV of Spain and Mariana of Austria, were uncle and niece, respectively. Charles's lineage was so entangled that he had more ancestors than would be typical for someone of his generation, leading to a significantly higher inbreeding coefficient. Charles II suffered from numerous health issues throughout his life. He had a weak constitution, struggled with intellectual disabilities, and was infertile. His physical appearance was also affected. He had the characteristic Habsburg Jaw, which impeded his ability to speak and chew properly. Contemporary accounts describe him as frail and sickly, with a tongue so large that he could barely speak, and a body so weak that he could hardly stand. The king's inability to produce an heir led to a succession crisis upon his death in 1700. This power vacuum precipitated the War of the Spanish Succession, a major European conflict that reshaped the continent's political landscape. The war concluded with the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713, resulting in significant territorial losses for Spain and the end of Habsburg rule in the country. The Spanish crown passed to the Bourbon dynasty, marking a significant shift in European power dynamics. The Habsburgs' reliance on consanguineous marriages was driven by a desire to maintain their empire's cohesion and to keep power within the family. However, this strategy had unintended consequences. The accumulation of deleterious genetic traits weakened individual family members' health and, by extension, the dynasty's political stability. The physical and mental impairments resulting from inbreeding undermined the Habsburgs' ability to govern effectively, leading to internal strife and making them vulnerable to external challenges. In addition to genetic issues, the practice of intermarriage limited the Habsburgs' ability to form external alliances through marriage, a common diplomatic tool among European nobility. By marrying within the family, they isolated themselves from potential allies, reducing their influence and adaptability in the complex political environment of Europe. The decline of the Habsburg dynasty serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of inbreeding and the importance of genetic diversity. While their intention was to preserve power and control, the Habsburgs inadvertently set the stage for their downfall by ignoring the genetic implications of their marriage practices. Their story highlights the complex interplay between genetics and politics and underscores the potential consequences of prioritizing short-term gains over long-term viability. In conclusion, the Habsburg dynasty's practice of intermarriage within the family, aimed at consolidating power and preserving their empire, led to significant genetic disorders that weakened individual members and the dynasty as a whole. The most poignant example is King Charles II of Spain, whose severe health issues and lack of an heir precipitated a major European conflict and marked the end of Habsburg rule in Spain. This historical example illustrates the profound impact that genetic practices can have on the fate of empires and serves as a reminder of the importance of genetic diversity in sustaining healthy and stable lineages.